Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Elizabeth Church. I'm the Vice President Academic and Provost here at the Mount, and I'd like to welcome you to this most happy occasion. As we gather today, I would like to acknowledge and pay respect to the Mi'kmaq people on the territory on which we meet. Mount St. Vincent University is built on unceded Mi'kmaq territory. We also pay respect to the Mi'kmaq knowledge embedded in this land and to the elders, past, present, and future. Today's event is being celebrated on social media, and we invite you to join in using the hashtag MSVUgrad, all one word, and you can log into our secure wireless using Mount, and the password is Convocation 18. And we're always pleased to see children here. We welcome their presence, and we understand that children need to move around and may need to make a little noise sometimes. So I'd like to invite Sister Evelyn Williams to the podium to give the invocation.
Holy One of mystery, known by many names, heard through many voices, we acknowledge your presence with us this day. We gather with grateful hearts to celebrate the accomplishments of all of you, the graduates of 2018. As we call to mind the path that brought us to this day, we remember the times of new beginnings, adjustment, struggle, happiness, and success. And we bring all of these memories to our celebration today, knowing their place in our search for fullness of life. We gratefully remember all those who have encouraged, taught, and nurtured us on our journey. For proud parents, grandparents, spouses, children, for teachers, mentors, professors, and for faithful friends, people whose love and encouragement and support helped deepen our faith in ourselves and our commitment to our goal. Holy One of blessing, take us beyond the vision of this day. Continue to be with us as we draw upon the wisdom and insight and experience gained here, and continue to use our many gifts of intellect, heart, and soul to build a world of peace and justice for all. Amen.
Thank you, Sister William. Please be seated. I would like to invite our President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Mary Bluchart, to the podium to give welcome remarks.
Madam Chair, Madam Chancellor, government representatives, Student Union President, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, graduates, families, and friends. Good morning. One more time. A little louder. Good morning. There we are, a little energy. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to Mount St. Vincent's Fall 2018 Convocation. At our two convocation ceremonies, we gather to celebrate the accomplishments of more than 344 of our students from 12 different countries. They have completed their required courses of study and now receive their certificates, diplomas, and degrees from 30 programs. 43 students are graduating with distinction, and 2 students are graduating with first-class honors. 16 students will receive a Senate Award of Distinction. We're very proud of today's graduates And on behalf of the entire Mount community, I congratulate you all on achieving your academic goals at the Mount. You are truly amazing. I am delighted to see so many members of the Mount family counted among today's graduates, student athletes, volunteers, students' union members, and some of our very own staff members. It's a privilege to join you in today's celebration. Also joining our students is an exceptional individual who will serve as an inspiration for our graduates, an inspiration for all of us as she accepts an honorary degree. We're proud to share our fall convocation with award-winning author, journalist, and champion of bilingualism and the francophonie, Françoise Ongar. Ms. Ongar has devoted much of her energy for more than 40 years to the Acadian and Francophone communities in the Atlantic region, in the country, and around the world. We're thrilled to have her with us this morning. Graduates, today you celebrate the end of an exciting, and I have no doubt, sometimes challenging, journey or adventure. And we, your family, friends, and Mount community, celebrate heartily with you. As you look back on your time at the Mount, may you do so with great fondness for the people you've met, friends, mentors, outstanding faculty and staff, the places you've been, the knowledge and skills you have acquired. Certainly the Mount community is stronger because each one of you has been a part of it. The Mount's more than 140-year history is truly a story of humanity and growth. Since our beginning, we've been an institution concerned and passionate about the well-being of individuals and communities at home and around the globe. And we will never waver from being concerned and passionate about the well-being of people and communities. We're home to faculty, students, staff, and alumni with a deep sense of the importance of community engagement and social justice. In fact, our faculty, staff, and students work together with community on many projects that have tremendous impact. Take, for example, the work of Shane Tennyson, Child and Youth Study. Together with several students from the program and partners at the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic, Shane recently led Youth in Care from Homebridge Youth Society through a boat building workshop that was about far more than constructing a 12-foot rowboat or a Bevan skiff. In Shane's words, the purpose of this project was to instill within future youth workers the value of activities that are not only mechanisms for building mediative and caring spaces, but also allow for skill development that can have significant impact on youth, self-esteem, belonging, and self-actualization. I was thrilled to support this work by purchasing the first boat built that I named the Mystic after our university sport teams, which I have rowed around. It's put away for the winter now, but rowed around with much pride on Beaver Pond in Hammond Plains. And it is much more than a boat that floats, although I'm very happy that the boat does float. It has been created with passion, determination, love, teamwork, and many, many hands. Another example of faculty, student, and community collaboration is the Public Relations Program's 40th anniversary project that saw the creation of a student digital media consultancy. In the spirit of the BPR program, the aim is to connect students and faculty to the community by offering free communications counsel to nonprofit clients. Earlier this year, students and faculty behind this great initiative delivered their first digital media plan to community client Hope Blooms, a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering youth in Halifax North End, and notably an organization founded by Mount alum Jesse Jollymore. And there are many, many more examples, like the PACE, Physically Active Children Excel program, led by Dr. Sarah Reddington of Child and Youth Study, that is working to develop a physical literacy skills program for young children. There is so much enthusiasm around this program, we now need to recruit more children. Our child and youth and education students have been absolutely amazing. Or what about the Indigenous Garden Initiative on campus, just outside the Aboriginal Student Centre, that has connected Indigenous community members, Mount staff, faculty, and students in applied human nutrition and education? Or Dr. Deborah Norris's work with military families? Or Dr. Ardra Cole with her students' work to bring the benefits of canine companionship to residents of long-term care facilities? I could go on all morning, but I promise you I won't. I cite these examples because they demonstrate the tremendous collaborative work of our faculty, staff, students with their community, making a difference and doing so as part of their student academic experience here at the Mount. As you take the next steps in your career to pursue further studies, take a new job, or any other adventures, I encourage you to take from these examples the value of doing whatever you do with a commitment to supporting others and a commitment to your community. The reward is priceless. I now invite each of you graduates to join me in thanking the Mount faculty and staff who have guided your growth and learning. You have been taught and supported by what I call the very, very best, as well as the family and friends who have supported you throughout your time with us. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Finally, I want to acknowledge all the people who have worked to prepare for today's ceremonies. Ceremonies like this don't just happen. All of the folks who have taken part are phenomenal, and without their hard work and commitment to making this day special, you and your families and all of us would not be experiencing this. It wouldn't be possible. So thank you to all of those. I know some of you are in the back rooms, some of you are out in the hallways, up at the top. We thank you all from the bottom of our heart for making this celebration so special. Thank you. Graduates, today we thank you, we celebrate you, and we bid you farewell. We're confident your future will be enriched as a result of your time here as a Mount student, and we look forward to seeing you as a long-term member of the Mount family as our alumni. Please come home to the Mount often. You always have a place here at home at the Mount. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bluchard. I'd now like to invite Dr. Juliette Valk, Chair of the French Department, Modern Language Department, to come forward and present our honorary degree candidate, Françoise Angard.
Madam Board Chair, Madam Chancellor, Madam President, distinguished guests, faculty, graduates, families, and friends, it is my honor and great pleasure to present to you Françoise Angard for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa. Françoise Angard is one of the most outstanding personalities in Canada's Francophone and Acadian communities. A journalist, translator, businesswoman, writer, and volunteer, Madame Angard has worked relentlessly for over 40 years to defend Francophone minority rights and to promote bilingualism in Canada. In doing so, she always sought to build bridges between what she calls the three solitudes, English Canada, Quebec, and the rest of Francophone Canada, while also giving a voice to other forgotten communities, such as the Innu of Labrador. Born of Breton and Acadian descent, Françoise Angard, née Françoise Reux, is a native of the French islands of Saint-Pierre and Miquelon. She came to Canada for her studies at the age of 16. She first spent a year here at Mount St. Vincent University and later completed a master's degree in French literature at Memorial University. In 1977, she settled in Newfoundland, where she quickly proved to be a steadfast advocate for the Canadian Official Language Act, contributing in a major way with her husband, René, to the establishment of French school and a French school board. As the first CBC journalist in Newfoundland, she worked on important key issues, helping, among other things, to reveal the dramatic living conditions of Innu children in Labrador, while hosting several TV and radio shows. She remains a much appreciated columnist for L'Acadie Nouvelle, a major French language newspaper in the Atlantic region. In 2001, Madame Angard founded Viva Communication, a firm that provides public relations and communication services while intervening in the areas of culture, of Francophone and women's rights in Atlantic Canada. The firm was in charge of major events such as the 2016 Saint-Pierre and Miquelon bicentennial celebrations. Madame Angard also served as executive director of the 2004 society that organized the 400th anniversary of Acadie celebrations and the 500 years of French presence in Newfoundland and Labrador. On this occasion, under her leadership, long-term investments in touristic infrastructure were made, creating employment and learning opportunities for youth in several French and English communities in Newfoundland. Madame Angard's involvement as a volunteer is equally impressive. As president of the French and Cultural Diversity Group for the Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie from 2008 to 2010, she worked with representatives of other countries to promote the French language. For 6 years, she was also president of the Société Nationale de l'Acadie. As such, she extended Acadie's influence in the Atlantic region and abroad, and strengthened the relationship between Acadie and Quebec, which led to the signing of the Second Entente Acadie-Québec in 2008, just one among many other successful projects. Also, since 2014, she's president of the Fondation Nationale de l'Acadie, a non-profit organization designed to foster education, literacy, and pride within Acadie. In recognition of her achievements, Madame Angard received numerous distinctions. In 2015, she was made Chevalier de la Légion d'honneur, France's highest honor, and in 2013, she received the prestigious Ordre des Francophones d'Amérique from the government of Quebec. In Canada, she also received the Medal of the Ordre de la Pléiade, the award Femme Remarquable, the Ordre des Cent Associés Francophones, and in France, the Ordre National du Mérite. Being French, and therefore a gourmet, Madame Angard wrote a cookbook with her husband, René, based on the cuisine of Saint-Pierre and Miquelon. Her love for her native islands also allowed Madame Angard to make a long-standing dream come true, as it inspired her to write 2 novels for youth and 2 award-winning novels for adults that were later translated into English. Les Litanies de l'île aux chiens, her first novel, won the Prix Henri Quéfelec in 2001 and was finalist for the 2003 Governor General's Awards, while L'Archipel du Dr Thomas won the Prix des lecteurs de Radio-Canada and the Prix Antonine Maillet Acadie in 2010. Madame Angard told me that today will be the occasion for her to compare her achievements with the hopes she had as a 16-year-old girl when she arrived on this campus in 1973. I believe that young girl would have been herself overwhelmed if she had heard the list of what she was going to accomplish. You will agree with me that to honor Madame Angard, who, as she says, devotes an immoderate love to the French language, I must conclude with a few words in French. Madame Angard, le fait d'être ici aujourd'hui illustre combien votre indéfectible engagement envers la francophonie et le respect des droits linguistiques au Canada force la reconnaissance et l'admiration de tous, francophones et anglophones. Vous avez hérité du courage et de la ténacité de vos ancêtres, de Marie-Joseph Lemétayer par exemple, et vous les avez généreusement mis au service de la collectivité. Pour tout cela et pour beaucoup plus encore, merci. For her numerous... Why not? For her numerous contributions to Francophone society and for her deep commitment to social justice, I ask you, Madam Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, to bestow upon Françoise Angard the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you, Françoise Angard, to the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Merci beaucoup for all your work.
I would like to invite Dr. Angard to the podium to deliver a convocation address.
First, thank you, merci, Dr. Valk, Madam Board Chair, Madam Chancellor, Madam President, distinguished guests, faculty, graduates, family, friends, chers amis, dear friends, bonjour, good morning, kwe. To tell you the truth, I feel like I just traveled in a time machine and landed here and now in a totally parallel reality. 45 years and 2 months ago, almost to the day, I arrived on this campus as a student. I was 16, and it was the very first time that I had left my family and my French islands of Saint-Pierre-et-Miquelon. My English was at best of the academic variety, lots of grammar and formal learning, very little conversational skills. From September to December of 1973, except for one short visit from a relative, I saw no French speaker and had to make do speaking English as best I could. I had to adapt to a brand new life, a new culture, and new and sometimes very foreign traditions. It was overwhelming at times, but when I went home that Christmas, I spoke English passably well, and it only got better during the second semester. As I sat alone in my single room in Everistus Hall, especially on endless long weekends when all my friends had gone home, I had plenty of time to contemplate what I might do with my life. I was keenly aware, even then, that I had no particular ambition and no idea of what I would do. As French writer Jean d'Ormesson used to say, I had a taste for life, but no real use for it yet. I knew what I did not want to become: a teacher like my grandfather, my grandmother, my mother, even my great-grandmother, and I knew what I yearned to be: a writer. The negation of a very worthy teaching profession and what I considered at the time to be a pipe dream of becoming a writer was not much to go on. In fact, I envied those who had a plan and a drive. As an older friend of mine who had from a very young age a burning desire to be an orthopedic surgeon. At 13, he used to put his younger brother on the kitchen table and pretend to operate. I'm glad to say he left Saint-Pierre-et-Miquelon at 16, like me, and became the top orthopedic surgeon in France, spending his life operating and teaching orthopedic surgery all over the world. No such luck in my case. And I can say that I remember worrying about my future and what would happen to me. My parents, particularly my father, had impressed on me the necessity to have a profession of my own so as never to depend on a man. On such things, my father was way ahead of his time. 45 years later, here I am in the very university that welcomed me to Canada and that is giving me this honorary degree, thus telling me that I must have managed to do something of my life. And so what can I tell you that might help you, inspire you on this momentous day in your life? Trust me, ever since I was told that I would have to deliver a 10-minute, hopefully inspirational speech to you all, I have looked back on my life looking for clues. So here is what I think I can offer as advice. Very early on, up to this day, and I hope until I draw my last breath, I have had a thirst for knowledge of all kinds. As I grew older, I also found that I was more interested in what was the farthest away from my literary inclination. There was my famous resolve in the late 1970s to read Stephen Hawking's A History of Time, in English, mind you. It was not easy. Some paragraphs I had to read 3 or 4 times just to wrap my head around the concept. I'm not sure I could ever fully understand quantum physics or the Planck wall, let alone explain it, but I did learn a lot. On a more mundane level, I learned how to sew. I used to say I was prouder of my sewing diploma than of my Master of Arts, because the latter was nothing more than what was expected of me, and the sewing knowledge totally out of left field. So thirst for knowledge, now and always, regardless of what diploma you are earning today. The furthest away from your field of studies, the better, because no one should want to be stuck on a narrow path and see the world and the universe from a single vantage point. From a very young age, I was also encouraged to be curious, very curious. Like most children, I always asked, why? But over time, this has become my favorite word. Why? Pourquoi? ¿Por qué? In fact, I have made my living by asking the question and offering answers as a journalist. And what seems so simple is not so simple at all. Reverence for the question why means going beyond a simple news item looking for all the facts. It includes trying to understand ideas and people that are totally removed from your own beliefs and always looking for context. Long ago, I remember reading the autobiography of great Canadian journalist and news anchor Knowlton Nash. He was a great believer in context. If you do not know that there is very little firewood in Japan and precious little for a cooking stove, he wrote, you'll never understand Japanese cuisine. This bit stayed with me. To give you a more current example, last summer, as you recall, Lots of people in Canada died from heat strokes, many of them in the province of Quebec. But why so many deaths in Quebec and not in neighboring Ontario? It turns out that only Quebec is keeping count and is forced by law to make the numbers of victims of heat waves public. Until you know that part, you would be entitled to think that Quebec was negligent or at the very least ill-prepared to face the situation. So before you come to any definite conclusion on anything, before you follow the crowds or let yourself be led by superiors, elected official, or anyone else, ask why and look for context. I do not have a single scientific bone in my body. Give me sonnets, music, novels, news, philosophy, any day. But numbers, algebra, and geometry are not for me. Yet, I share one characteristic with all scientists out there: an analytical mind. My upbringing, my school, and this university, among other institutions of higher learning, made sure I developed that capacity for analysis. It is, in my view, the single most important tool you can develop and nurture. It has always been good and useful to be able to think independently and with rigor, but today it is essential protection against the many modern perils of our society, against the real, if I may use the term, the real fake news, despotic tendencies of silly presidents, populist mobs, and demagogues. In my view, today, the ability to analyze is the only thing standing in the way of darkness and blind submission to power. The diploma you receive today may indicate what career you choose, but first and foremost, you are a human being, a member of a family, a citizen, an elector, a member of a community. And the most important thing you can do is to use your power of reflection and analysis to think for yourself, stand up for yourself, and sometimes stand up for others. I have done many things in my life so far, apparently, and I am far from finished. I did become a teacher for adults, teaching English as a second language because the Vietnamese refugees landed in Newfoundland in 1979, and teachers were needed. I became a journalist because I love to write, tell stories, and ask why. And I have become a writer for the same reason. I became an advocate for the Acadian people because there was a need for a strong voice in the Francophonie. In other words, I have done many different things as need and opportunity dictated. Chances are you will too. And you better be prepared to change your occupation and the direction of your career a few times during your lifetime. It used to be the sign of an ill-realized career to change track this way. Now it is a sign of adaptability, creativity, and resourcefulness. If and when the time comes, embrace it. And finally, one last bit of advice: care and act on it. I started to write because I cared about my family, my roots, my heritage, and felt the need to preserve our family's history. I keep on writing stories because I care about the people I write about, whether real or imagined. I went into journalism because I care about the truth, about explaining facts, and because I care about people. I care about the people my dear Radio-Canada mentor, James Bamber, used to call the real people, the ones who are not paid to answer our questions. And finally, I became active in the Francophonie because I care about the rights and the plight of minorities, and because I believe that societies are judged by the way we treat them. You cannot ever go wrong by caring. Let this be the basis of everything else you do, because to care is to want to understand others, it is to question injustice, it is to use your brain to help your fellow human beings, it is to be curious of the circumstances and hardship of other people. And because in the end, caring and acting accordingly is what gives purpose to a life well lived. Merci. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Angao, and congratulations. We're now moving to a moment, we've just had a moment to reflect on Dr. Angar's inspirational words and her reflections on her life. I'd like to introduce the two musicians we're very fortunate to have with us today. Barbara Pritchard is on the piano and Shimon Volt on cello, and they will be playing Time to Say Goodbye by Francesco Sartori. Thank you for the beautiful music. Thank you. I would now like to invite Rhonda Bursey, a member of our Alumni Association, to come and give welcome from the Alumni Association.
Good morning, Madam Chancellor, Madam President, distinguished guests, graduates, faculty, family, and friends. To our graduates, congratulations. Today is a day for you to celebrate your academic and your personal success. I say with both experience and confidence that your Mount education will influence many aspects of your life moving forward. Your professors, your peers, and the greater Mount community have helped to form a unique and rich foundation for your bright future. Throughout your time here, your experiences may also have been unknowingly shaped in part by those who graduated before you. As guest lecturers, co-op employers, staff, mentors, and sports fans, you have felt the impact of the alumni who have remained connected to this special place. I hope that when you leave here today, that you too will remain connected. As you are bestowed your degrees, you will also receive an alumni lapel pin bearing the coat of arms of the Mount to mark your membership in the Alumni Association. You will become one of the many thousands of women and men who come from around the globe to study at Mount St. Vincent. Wear your pin with pride. And as you start the next phase of your life, please stay close and keep us informed about your news and accomplishments. We would like to celebrate them. On behalf of all Mount alumni, congratulations and welcome to the family.
Thank you, Rhonda. So now we come to the moment in the program for which we're all gathered to see our students become our graduates. And I've seen there are many I know many family members would like to take a picture or photographs of your graduate as she or he crosses the stage. You're very welcome to come down. We do ask you not to come onto the stage. I'm now going to invite our Dean of Arts and Science, Dr. Brooke Taylor, to come to the podium to present the graduates.
Good morning. Before we begin, I just wanted to refer to the Senate Awards of Distinction. As we process our graduates today, some will receive Senate Awards of Distinction. These awards are engraved pewter medals awarded by the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University. The undergraduate awards are presented in recognition of superior academic achievement to the student who graduates with distinction and highest GPA, or grade point average. The awards at the master's degree level are presented upon recommendation of each department. These awards will be presented to the recipients along with their parchments, and you can see the medals in the gold boxes over there on the table by the president. First, we'll begin with certificates and diplomas. Madam President and Vice Chancellor, it is my privilege to present to you the candidates for the Collegiate Honors of Graduation. I attest that they have successfully completed the required course of study, and I ask that they be awarded the Certificate in Accounting to Michelle Chisholm. The Certificate in Business Administration to Kalia Cunningham. Madam Chancellor, It is my privilege to present to you the candidates for the collegiate honors of graduation. I attest that they have successfully completed the required course of study, and I ask that they be admitted to the baccalaureate degree. Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Bachelor of Arts on Jennifer Arsenault.
Jennifer, on behalf of the Synod of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto.
Ashley Avery with distinction.
Ashley, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with distinction. Congratulations. Good luck.
Brenda Beauchamp.
Brenda, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations. Good luck.
Marissa Brennan.
Marissa, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Lisa Christmas with distinction.
Lisa, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with distinction. Congratulations.
Paige Duran.
Paige, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Good job.
Bonita LeBlanc.
Bonita, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Samantha Logan with distinction.
Samantha, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with distinction. Congratulations.
Teresa Ann Mount.
Teresa, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations.
Madison Putnam.
Madison, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations.
Amy Poitier.
Amy, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations.
Virginia Smolinski.
Ginger, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations. Good job.
Emily Stapleton with distinction.
Emily, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with distinction. So good to see you.
These are our BA graduates. Madam Chancellor, Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Bachelor of Arts internship option on Jody Neal with distinction and Sedit Medal of distinction.
Jody, on behalf of the Synod of Mount St. Vincent, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts internship option with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto, and with distinction and with the medal.
Madam Chancellor, Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Bachelor of Science on Samantha Hodder.
Samantha, on behalf of the Synod of Mount St. Vincent, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations. Good luck. You're welcome.
on Chrissy R. Murphy.
Chrissy, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science. Congratulations.
I now turn the podium over to my colleague, Dr. Kim Keenapple, Dean of Professional Studies and Graduate Studies.
Madam Chancellor, it is my privilege to present to you the candidates for the Collegiate Honors of Graduation. I attest that they have successfully completed the required courses of study and ask that they be admitted to the baccalaureate degree. Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Child and Youth Study on Zainab Habibi.
And on behalf of the Synod of Mount St. Vincent, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Child and Youth Study with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
And I note that that degree was with distinction. Laura Allen with distinction.
Laura, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Child and Youth Study with distinction. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Kelly Doyle.
Lauren, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Child and Youth Study. Congratulations.
Basna Elif Nawi.
Basner, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Child and Youth Studies. Congratulations.
Sarah Keddy.
Sarah, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Child and Youth Study. Congratulations.
Julia Linus with distinction.
Julia, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Child and Youth Study with distinction. Congratulations. You're welcome. You're excited, huh? Yes.
Katrina Miller with distinction and highest aggregate and the Senate Medal of Distinction.
Katrina, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Child and Youth Study with distinction, highest medal, everything. You've done a great job. Keep supporting your mom.
Caitlin Power.
Caitlin, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Child and Youth Studies. Congratulations.
Michelle Secord.
Michelle, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Child and Youth Study. Congratulations. Thank you. You're welcome.
Madam Chancellor, Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration on Connor Adams with distinction.
Connor, on behalf of the Synod of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto, and with distinction. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Ahmad Habib O'Toole.
Ahmad, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Thank you. You're welcome. Good luck.
Fazal Azwilam.
Fazal, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Nathalie Burgess.
Athlete, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations. Good to see you.
Erica Cherney.
Erica, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations. Good luck.
Victoria Camo with distinction.
Victoria, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration with distinction.
Dylan Curry.
Dylan, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Yasmin El Hurabi.
Yasmin, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Ardian Hassanish.
Nadia, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Kathleen Jollymore with distinction.
Kathleen, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration with distinction. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Kelly Leach with distinction.
Kelly, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration with distinction. Congratulations.
Justin Roy Maxwell Noftal, Cooperative Education Option with distinction and highest aggregate, and the Senate Medal of Distinction.
Justin, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration with distinction with all those honors. Good luck. You did a good job.
Elisa Salzman.
Elisa, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Jingyi Shi, Cooperative Education Option with distinction.
Jeannie, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration with distinction. You did a good job. Would you like the co-op?
Manami Yamada.
Manami, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. You're welcome. Good luck.
Madam Chancellor, Mount St. Vincent University confers a degree of Bachelor of Business Administration in association with Bermuda College on Sophie Beverly Isaac with distinction and the Senate Medal of Distinction.
Sophie, on behalf of the Synod of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration in association with Bermuda College with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations on the distinction and everything else.
Madam Chancellor, Mount St. Vincent University confers a degree of Bachelor of Business Administration honors on Alexandra Elizabeth Campbell.
Alexandra, on behalf of the Synod of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration honors with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Madam Chancellor, Mount St. Vincent University confers a degree of Bachelor of Public Relations, Cooperative Education on Sarah Cameron with distinction.
Sarah, on behalf of the Synod of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations on the distinction.
Brad Carmichael.
Brad, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. You're welcome. Over there.
Maria Kathleen Carroll.
Maria, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Paige Clark with distinction.
Paige, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations with distinction. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Cassie DeVoe with distinction.
Cassie, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations with distinction. You're welcome.
Chase Douglas.
Chase, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Nicole Drohan with distinction.
Nicole, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations with distinction. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Catherine Gallant with distinction.
Catherine, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations with distinction. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Rachel Galvin.
Rachel, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Justin Gillies.
Justin, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations.
Lindsay Gullickson with distinction.
Lindsay, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations with distinction. Congratulations.
Shannon Kennedy.
Shannon, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations. Good job. Good to see you.
Chloe Kenny.
Jody, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Jessica Lawson.
Jessica, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations.
Morgan Lowe.
Morgan, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Hannah McDonald.
Hannah, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Jillian McDonald.
Jillian, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Monica McKendrick.
Monica, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations. Thank you. You're welcome.
Jessica May with distinction.
Jessica, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations with distinction. Congratulations.
Abigail Murrin.
Abigail, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Good on you.
Carly Piercy.
Carly, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations.
Courtney Power with distinction.
Courtney, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations with distinction. Good job. You're welcome.
Emily Richardson with distinction.
Emily, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations with distinction. Good job. You're welcome.
Emily Robichaud.
Emily, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. You're thrilled.
Emily Seaman.
Emily, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations.
Taylor Sparks with distinction.
Taylor, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations with distinction. I got to do this first. Thank you.
Simone Stubbs with distinction.
Look up there. Simone, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations with distinction. You better look up there. Okay, go over there.
Michelle Thompson.
Michelle, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Good luck.
Travis Thompson with distinction and highest aggregate and the Senate Medal of Distinction.
Travis, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations with distinction, the highest aggregate. You did a great job.
Madam Chancellor, Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Bachelor of Science, Science Communication on Nicole Marie LeBlanc with distinction and the Senate Medal of Distinction.
Nicole, on behalf of the Synod of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Science Communication with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto with distinction and a great job.
Madam Chancellor, Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Bachelor of Science, Applied Human Nutrition on Natalie Abella, Integrated Internship Education Program with distinction.
Natalie, on behalf of the Synod of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Applied Human Nutrition with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. You did a great job with distinction.
Melissa Allen, Integrated Internship Education Program with distinction and highest aggregate and the Senate Medal of Distinction.
Melissa, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Applied Human Nutrition with distinction and all the other honors. Good luck.
Melanie Ingram, Integrated Internship Education Program with distinction.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Applied Human Nutrition. Good job. Distinction. You're welcome.
Carol Yuen Ling Lam, Integrated Internship Education Program with distinction.
Karen, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Applied Human Nutrition with distinction. You did a good job.
Brianne Mitten with distinction.
Mary Ann, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Applied Human Nutrition with distinction. You did a good job.
Lou Tao with distinction.
Lou, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Applied Human Nutrition with distinction. Congratulations. You're welcome. You did a good job.
Marin Vivian Webby with distinction.
Marin, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Applied Human Nutrition with distinction. You're welcome.
Hillary Young.
Hillary, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Applied Human Nutrition. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Cece Chu.
Cece, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Applied Human Nutrition. Congratulations. You're welcome, Mary. Okay.
Madam Chancellor, Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Bachelor of Tourism and Hospitality Management Practica Route on Sarah Campbell.
Sarah, on behalf of the Synod of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Tourism and Hospitality Management with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations. Good luck.
Madam Chancellor, it is my privilege to present to you the candidates for the Collegiate Honors of Graduation. I attest that they have successfully completed the required courses of study and ask that they be admitted to the master's degree. Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Master of Public Relations on Holly Chisholm.
Holly, I admit you to the degree, on behalf of the Synod of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Master of Public Relations with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Peter Harrison.
Peter, I admit you to the degree of Master of Public Relations. Congratulations. Good to see you.
Sharon Ishimwe and the Senate Medal of Distinction.
Shimmer, I admit you to the degree of Master of Public Relations with distinction. You got a medal, too.
Fraser McCallum.
Fraser, I admit you to the degree of Master of Public Relations. Congratulations.
Lance Wade.
Lance, I admit you to the degree of Master of Public Relations. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Madam Chancellor, Mount St. Vincent confers the degree of Master of Arts in Communication on Jessica Sherlin Long.
On behalf of the Synod of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Master of Arts in Communication with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations, you did a great job.
Anne-Marie McKittrick.
Anne-Marie, I admit you to the degree of Master of Arts in Communication. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Madam Chancellor, Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Master of Science Applied Human Nutrition on Holding He.
Holy, on behalf of the Synod of Mount St. Vincent, I admit you to the degree of Master of Science Applied Human Nutrition with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations. Good job.
Madam Chancellor, in addition, we confer the appropriate degrees on all those presented to the University Senate.
I confer degrees in absentia on those persons so designated by you.
And now it's an opportunity to celebrate some special achievements. The Graduate Thesis Award was established in 2003 to be awarded annually at the Fall Convocation. Students who graduate in the spring and fall ceremonies are eligible for this award. This award is awarded to a student who has completed a thesis that is of exceptional quality, includes evidence of well-developed independent research skills, and makes a contribution to their academic discipline. The 2018 Graduate Thesis Award goes to Jessica Long, MA Communication Studies. Jessica Long is this year's recipient of the Graduate Thesis Award for a thesis entitled Mobilities and Infectious Disease, Othering in Canadian Political Discourse of Alboa. Jessica was nominated for her thesis by her thesis supervisor, Dr. Tessa Laidlaw from the Department of Communication Studies. In the thesis, Jessica analyzed Canadian political discourse in the context of the travel restrictions imposed in response to the African Ebola outbreak. She employed critical discourse analysis and an exploration of power relationships that restrict movement to conclude that West African individuals are viewed as threats to the spread of Ebola, despite the lack of scientific process and expert consensus on the effectiveness of travel restrictions. Jessica's findings have implications for policy development and the use of travel restrictions to manage the spread of infectious disease. Congratulations. The Kappa Gamma Pi Award. Membership in Kappa Gamma Pi, Honor Society of Catholic Universities, is awarded to graduates who, in addition to high scholastic standing and a good record in extracurricular activities, gives promise to academic leadership in the future. The recipient of the undergraduate Kappa Gamma Pi Award is Lisa Christmas, Bachelor of Arts Psychology. Lisa graduates today with a Bachelor of Arts with a major in psychology and a double minor in English and Women's Studies, and with a GPA of 3.5. Lisa brought to her studies a passion for social justice by way, for example, using artistic productions to bring awareness to narratives found at the margins of mainstream culture. She performed in a volunteer capacity at the Chester Playhouse in the production of Junior, about the wrongful conviction of Donald Marshall Jr. She also co-authored a book chapter, Disrupting Shameful Legacies, Girls and Young Women Speak Back Through the Arts to Address Sexual Violence. One of Lisa's core values is helping others, reflected in her work as a program assistant and counselor with Autism Nova Scotia, as a day camp leader with the Boys and Girls Club, and as a youth worker serving vulnerable teens. No doubt her steadfast commitment to support and build communities will persist in her future endeavors. Congratulations, Lisa. The President's Prize. The President's Prize is a special award donated by the university president, awarded to a member of the graduating class whose energy, generosity, and commitment have enriched the university during their time as students, and who shall promise that their commitment will continue as alumni. It is with great pleasure that we award the President's Prize to Cassie DeVoe, Bachelor of Public Relations. Cassie is an engaged and enthusiastic student who brings a wealth of curiosity and energy to the classroom. Her positive attitude and strong leadership skills characterize her contribution to a constructive learning environment. She has demonstrated a commitment to excellence, reflected in her GPA of 3.9. She has also made an important contribution to the university community, serving as a Mount Ambassador, social events coordinator for the Mount PR and Communication Student Society, and as an orientation leader. She has contributed beyond the Mount campus as well as a volunteer with MAD Canada. In 2015, Cassie was awarded the MSVU Students' Union First Year Student of the Year Award. Upon her acceptance to the Mount, Cassie was the recipient of a presidential scholarship, so it seems fitting that she is graduating with the President's Prize. Congratulations. The Valedictorian Prize provides all valedictorians with a lasting memento of their achievement and contribution to the graduating class. To be chosen valedictorian, the student must have maintained a strong academic record, must have been actively involved in a number of extracurricular activities, either on campus or in the community, and must have been nominated as a fitting spokesperson for the graduating class by their peers and/or their faculty. This year, I'm pleased to present the Valedictorian Award to Sharon Hishimwe, Master of Public Relations. Sharon has always been passionate about social justice, empowerment, and community building. As a professional communicator, she has used her background in journalism and public relations to contribute to capacity building initiatives here at the Mount and in communities both in Canada and Uganda. Sharon completed a Bachelor of Mass Communication degree in Uganda, and after graduation, she worked as a communications officer for Child Fund International in Kampala, developing and creating media relations programs, fundraising strategies, and educational outreach initiatives. The organization's focus to eliminate child poverty and address issues of healthcare and education fit perfectly with Sharon's passion. And she was awarded the Great Communicators Award, which recognizes the most outstanding communications personnel in all 33 countries where Child Fund operates. In 2017, Sharon decided to come to the Mount to take the Master of Public Relations degree program. Throughout her time in this program, she has proven herself to be an excellent student and an enthusiastic researcher. She also contributed to demonstrate her commitment to the community in her role as the project manager for the Digital Media Communications Agency project launched in 2017 by the Department of Communication Studies. To celebrate the department's 40th anniversary last year, it introduced a project that connected undergraduate students with a community client. As a graduate student coordinator of this project, Sharon was central in developing the relationship between the client, Hope Blooms, a local initiative to empower at-risk youth, and a group of enthusiastic public relations and communication students who helped them develop a social media campaign. Sharon ensured that the Hope Blooms youth and Mount students collaborated effectively to learn from each other and gain valuable experience in the process. In addition to this project, Sharon's contribution to the Mount community also included her role as session chair at the annual Girls Conference hosted by the Alexa McDonough Institute for Women, Gender, and Social Justice. She served as a participant in the National Dialogue on Race through the Canadian Race Relations Foundation. She was the event host for the Mount National Day of Remembrance event on December 6th, and she also hosted last year's Multicultural Night. Congratulations, and I'd like to invite you to the podium to deliver your address.
What a profile. And who was that girl? Well, thank you so much for the kind introduction. Madam Chancellor, Madam President, Madam Board Chair, honorary degree recipient, distinguished guests, family, friends, fellow graduates, good morning. It's an absolute pleasure for me to stand here as valedictorian. During my time at the Mount, I have had the pleasure of being surrounded by some really smart and strong students, passionate and engaging faculty, and such friendly non-teaching staff. And many of these people have over time become some of my favorite humans. Today, we celebrate dreams, and I'll bring you on a journey to where mine started. I was about 5 years old, and until that point, every time somebody asked what I wanted to be, I said lawyer. I had no idea what lawyers did, but I said I wanted to be a lawyer because my older sister always said she wanted to be a lawyer. See, I was the younger sibling who was also a bit adoring, and my sister was the older sibling who was at this point getting a tad bit tired of her younger sibling copying everything she said and did. So this one time in Sunday school, the question was asked for the umpteenth time, what do you want to be? And as other kids mentioned their dreams one by one, my sister nudged me, she leaned in and whispered in a matter-of-fact tone, lawyer is mine, you said journalist. Yeah, since then I said I wanted to be a journalist. And that, friends, is how I ended up in journalism and communications. I am the youngest of 5 siblings, and looking back at my early years, I realized how easy it would have been for me to live all my life trying to be like my siblings. But I had a great mother, and she is easily the greatest person I have known. It's been said that the greatest gifts parents can give their children are roots and wings. My mom gave me none of those, but she helped me find both. One of the things she said the most to me was, know yourself. And every time she said it, I felt like she was asking me to search deep within for who I was. I felt like she was telling me that there were things about me that only I could discover. And those things became my roots. My mom was also my #1 fan. In an environment where obstacles abounded, she told me to look beyond my limitations. She also told me to look beyond my possibilities, because beyond those lay even more possibilities. And this became my wings. Now, these roots and wings, and of course the not-so-friendly nudge from my sister, are what eventually led me to Halifax and to the Mount, arriving on the cold Christmas night of 2016. Reflecting on my experience both on campus and within the broader Halifax community, here are some lessons I've learned. It is more important who we are than what we are. And perhaps instead of asking people what they want to be, we should be asking who they want to be. Know yourself and remember that you are an evolving being, and therefore learning about yourself should never end. Be yourself and shine your light. Create your own yardsticks and live by them. Your success should never be measured based on the successes or shortcomings of others. Be present. It doesn't matter how short your stay in a place or with a person is. When you are there, be fully present. Surround yourself with supporters, not yes people, but people who believe in you. When self-doubt hits, those people will remind you of your potential. It's been said to send the elevator back down. I say hold someone's hand and take them with you. It gets lonely up there. So take somebody and start a party. This one excites me so much. There is an army of accomplished women in Halifax encouraging, lifting, and holding doors for younger women. Be those women. And on that note, and perhaps my fellow graduates will want to join me in thanking and honoring all the people who have cheered us on, held our hands, opened doors, and supported us in the journeys we celebrate today. Some of them are in this auditorium, some are so far away, and several others have moved on to live among the angels. Thank you so much. And to you, my fellow graduates, congratulations. Now go be your best self. Thank you.
This is everybody's favorite part. That's what they tell me anyways. I want to congratulate you. It's, you know, being here today, sometimes I complain, you know, just sometimes. But it brings such hope alive. With all that's going on in the world, in our own city and abroad, it's really good to be able to capture the joy and the hope that is in us. And so let's build on that. There's a reception at the Margaret Norrie McCain Center. Everybody, don't panic. It's a little bit of a walk. You can go outside or get to the second floor and go through the links. And all of you are invited to the reception, and we hope to see you there. I declare this convocation closed.
Congratulations once again to all our graduates. Would you please stand to sing O Canada?
Thank you.